What is up, everybody? Welcome back. This was the intake that I had on the bench and what we were talking about during the short on why we have a lot of carbon buildup. We got a couple of things going on in the lower intake. I want to talk about it. Maybe you guys didn't know this was happening and you can take care of your intake health on your 6.7. You guys want to check it out? Watch this video and let's learn some 6.7. Let's do it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel again. I thank you guys for checking us out. I love talking about my favorite 6.7. Now, one of the things I want to talk about today is the lower intake. Now, there is a plastic part that goes over, which is right here, and it sometimes can get carboned up depending on vehicle usage. I've seen way worse than this, but it has a little bit. This is hardly anything compared to what I see on the cab chassis. So this particular truck is a 1FT, a 1FT being a pickup truck, and this is what the lower intake looks like. Now, when we burn diesel fuel and we have a byproduct of that, and that is going to be ultimately carbon across the board, gasoline, diesel, and there's no way around it. But in order for us to eliminate some emissions and for the vehicle to meet those new requirements, we have to introduce EGR flow, which is, everybody knows on the 6.7 that this is the EGR cooler. This is the EGR valve, and that stuff has to go back into the intake manifold to get reburned and ultimately get re-ingested into the engine. That's one thing that is happening in the lower intake manifold. The second thing that is happening in the lower intake manifold is our CCV, our closed crankcase ventilation. Now, you guys recall when we did the video and I showed you guys about how to remove that collar. Here's that rubber sleeve that's over it. This has to be replaced, and that is per the workshop manual. That is their procedure. Well, this is to collect the vapors from the crankcase, and that gets rerouted into the intake manifold. So what happens here is you have two different temperatures. You have dry, sooty mixing with hot, moist, oily vapor, and it's doing a mixture right here, and it's getting hung up on the walls and really bad with the cab chassis. And pretty much we just try to scrape out as much as we can, and either, I mean, there's no sense in replacing it, but it ultimately is going to continue to happen. So what do you ask yourself, in order for this to not happen, what do you do? Well, this is where the EGR is coming from, and there's really no way to not have a link here and not do something you're supposed to do. The trucks that I see that don't have this issue are the trucks that are continuously working. Like the people who are, babying their trucks or not, I don't want to run my truck too hard, I don't want to hurt the turbo. Like, it's very important for temperatures in the 6.7. The engine temperature, the coolant, the oil, the EGR, all these have to be hot in order to burn all this stuff off. And what happens is sometimes we get a little excess of this. Maybe this customer is not using a good fuel additive, but this is something you guys should be aware of and see what the inside of your lower intake manifold looks like. You can try scraping it out. I try to keep mine clean, keep a fuel additive running all the time, but it's a lot has to do with the oil that's getting in here and coming out of the charge air cooler. That stuff is kind of wreaking havoc on our components, because it's just normally supposed to be there because that's what the truck's made with. It just happens. But that's mostly the culprit. Alright, well let me know what you guys find on your truck. I want to see what you guys are doing. It's a big thing with trying to keep the EGR clean. I don't really use any EGR cleaners. I know Ford doesn't approve of using EGR and DPF cleaners. I don't know if you guys have used that. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.